Good to see you again. This is the first time, I'm first going to give it to Lucinda to share her testimony, and then when she's finished, I'll go next. If we have any time left, then it'll be great for me too, okay? Okay, Lucinda, good morning to everyone that's here this morning, and some of the women have already heard my testimony because last July I was here for camp, but I'll briefly give it to you again, and you can be patient if you've heard it. Some of the men have not heard, some of the children have not heard my testimony also. I was born deaf, and what caused it, I have no idea. My family, there is no deafness in my family. My mom, I had felt bad for her. She was a doctor, after doctor, didn't help. Why I could not speak. And from birth until 5 years old, I went to more than 50 doctors, and the doctors would say the same thing. She's just like a vegetable. She'll be like a vegetative state all her life. She has, she will stay in child stage all her life. And my mom thought, no, she can't be this. So when I was 5 years old, my parents were advised to go to Omaha, Nebraska, to a special doctor, and they find out what the problem was. So my mom took me to a hospital there. I stayed for 1 week, and they analyzed me, and then I left the hospital. It was about a 5-hour drive from home. I got home, and Sunday night, the next Monday, the doctor studied the analysis, and he in 5 minutes told my parents what the problem was. And so after just getting home, we went all the way back, and he said, your daughter's in a vegetative state. No, she can't hear. She's deaf. And they said, oh my, what do we do with her? And so they put me in an oral school, and I was not successful there. I learned to talk, but I mimicked. I didn't know what the words meant. And so my parents again were frustrated about my education. They asked a social worker to help, and they sent me to Nebraska School for the Deaf. And that's where I succeeded. I learned sign language. But when I first got to the Deaf Institute, I'll never forget, the Deaf Institute was in a huge city. I was from a very small town, maybe 700, 800 people, a farm community. But I saw all white people. I get to the Deaf Institute, and I met my first black person, and I screamed and ran. And lived in the city. I'd never seen a black person all my life. And I was 4 years old. And the hospital said, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know. There's something wrong with that person. And I said, and they made me touch the skin. And then I realized there were people that were in color. And so I grew up in the Deaf Institute. When I got to 10th grade, I kind of messed up my life. I was unhappy, got involved in wrongdoing, and my mother sent me to a Christian school. My mom and dad constantly said, Jesus doesn't like you to do sin. Jesus doesn't like you to do bad. They said it, but I didn't understand what they meant. They were Christians. My sister was a Christian, but I was the last in the family and just didn't understand. So they sent me to Hammond Baptist High School in Indiana. They transferred me there. I was there for the last 2 years of school, and there I accepted Christ as my Savior. And it was Sunday Snout, witnessed to me there. They led me to Christ, and so I went there, and then I went to Tennessee Tech for a while, and then I went to another deaf college where I met him. That's another story. I didn't like him at first, and then I wanted to marry a farmer, and then got led, and we married, and he became a pastor at the church for internship where we were, and it just so happened a missionary came to our church and was speaking. I love to hear the missionary stories. I love to hear when they came. But thinking about being a missionary, no, that was not for me. Because when I was at Tennessee Temple, I told the Lord, I'll surrender to you anything, but mission work, no, that's not one. And that was my attitude. I was wrong. I got married, and then this missionaries came. I love to hear the story. But one missionary came with his national pastor from Ethiopia. Wow, this is different. It's going to be different. And I heard my husband, I saw him talk with the missionary, but then I went home and my husband said, I think maybe you and I should be missionaries. And I thought, why? And where? And he said, Africa. I said, no, I don't do that. No, the Lord, the Lord hasn't burned me. And so I said, you go and I'll stay. But as I matured, I was not as mature in the Lord as he was because he grew up in the church. And so I heard he kept talking about missions, and I'd say, stop. If you talk about it again, I'm finished. I'll just turn you off. fearful. The doctor made many warnings, and many warnings I didn't even share with him. And when the problems came, the doctor ordered me to have bed rest and do nothing for about 5 months. And the church had a sweetheart banquet. So I went to this sweetheart banquet with the pastor, and we were sitting and talking with members. We played some games, and then as we were eating and having a good time, a pastor from another church came and spoke. And the title of the message I will never forget. He said, "Who does your heart belong to, God or man?" And I listened to that message, and God convicted me. And I began to weep. I had been holding it down. I held the tears. I didn't want my husband to see me cry. And then when my husband went to bed, I went into another room, and I said, "Lord, I'm so sorry. I've said no to you. I feel terrible." And I wept, and I surrendered everything to him at that time. It was hard. It wasn't easy. But I surrendered everything. I said, "Lord, I'm willing to go as a missionary if that's what you want." And God showed. I said, "Please give me strength to go on with this." And so I began to have joy again. A week later, again, my husband began talking about missions in Africa. And I listened to him. And he goes, "What happened to you?" And I said, "I surrendered." And he was so thrilled. And I said, "Now, wait a minute, it's hard for me." And he goes, "Well, I'll help you through this." And so we began our deputation and went through many frustrations. No deaf churches, always, no deaf churches. I was at the hearing all the time. And deputation for my children. My daughter was 2 years old. And then I have a 7-week-old baby on deputation. There was a lot of frustrations with that. And it took us almost 3 years. And then we went to Kenya. During that year, before God called me to be a missionary, I had a desire to learn counseling. And I really wanted to learn counseling about abortion. I called CWP, and it's called about Concerned Women of America. And so I went to counseling. I thought I could counsel, but when he talked about missions, I dropped that desire completely for counseling. And then when I went to Kenya, I forgot that I had been taught about counseling for ladies who had gone through abortion. And there in Kenya, I was there. We came back to furlough after being there for several years. And went back to Africa, and South Africa. And as long missions wives, we teach Sunday school. That's what missions wives do. We teach Sunday school, teach Sunday school. And then the Lord spoke to my heart. And I began teaching and talking about taking care of your baby, how God will bless. Just a basic lesson. God's not for abortion. And that's all I knew how, to talk about in Sunday school at that time. After I finished, a deaf lady came to me. And she said, "I got an abortion last week." And I was like, "Oh my." Now remember, I did not know how to counsel. I said, "You were wrong. That's murder." And that one was in shock. I put judgment on her. I shook my finger at her. And then God said, "You need to say you're sorry." I said, "You're wrong. I didn't know how to handle that in the beginning." I was so in shock, and she left. She had attended our church, and then she had missed some before that abortion, and when she told me, and I reprimanded her, she left our church. I was very awkward, and she didn't come back for a long time. And I was afraid that it was because I had handled the situation wrong. So I began asking the deaf lady where she was, and they said, "She's staying home because of the way that you talked to her." And I said, "Will you please bring her back?" And they said, "No, she won't come. She's holding a grudge." And so the Lord opened an opportunity for me to go back to America for furlough. We came back for furlough for a year. And during that time, I forgot about things that happened there. I went to a college in Ohio where Don Cabbage was preaching. And I can't remember exactly the title, but he said, "You can give the deaf a chance. The deaf can have a chance." And I thought, "Well, God, give me a chance." And I had forgotten. After Don Cabbage, after I preached, we went back home. My husband said, I am burdened to teach at the Bible college part-time. And I said, "That's a burden of mine too." And so he said, "What about you teaching?" I said, "I remember. I can't remember exactly where, but I remember somewhere I had a brochure, Concerned Women of America. And then I read that and remembered my desire, that I had dropped that desire. God really gave us a second chance. And I remember that desire. My husband said, why not try that? And so I came in contact with them in Washington, D.C. It's run by Beverly LaHaye, and some of you heard of her. And she wrote the book, and various books about women. So I came in contact with Ms. LaHaye, and I went to Washington, D.C. and saw their office, this huge office. And a woman named Wendy led at that time. I don't know exactly her job, but she led me around. And then she showed me the desk of Beverly LaHaye. She said she's in California right now. She has 2 offices. And so I missed the opportunity to meet her. But I said, how can I learn about counseling? And she offered me to go to my hometown of Ohio and read different books. And she gave me different authors. Pregnancy centers, that they had, and visited those. And she said they provide training. So I went home and I called one called Bethel Pregnancy Center, came in contact with them. And they had some training. I was training for 2 weeks. Every night was 3 hours for 2 weeks. And my husband was willing to let me do that. My daughter got involved with that also. And so we went for 2 weeks. It was so very important. I learned the mistakes that I had made through critical judgment to others. And I learned to communicate right. But back to South Africa, I was ready. I was motivated. A few months later, a deaf lady came to me and she was pregnant, 5 months. And she said, I'm thinking about aborting this baby. Do you think it's okay? And the first thing I said, I said, why would you think about abortion? She said, I have no job, no schooling. My church interpreter told me it was okay. And I was shocked. The interpreter church said it was okay to abort the baby because she couldn't take care of it. God would understand. And so I got into counseling. And I said, do you know about abortion and what it is, what it looks like? And she said, I just know there's blood involved. And I said, no, that baby is actually born. And I began to show her pictures. And she wept. And she said, no one ever told me this. She was 25 years old and knew nothing about abortion. And so I couldn't force, I couldn't criticize, like I had to let God work on her through my encouragement and what I had learned here. And she wept. She said, nobody ever told me that. Thank you for doing that. And then when she was 6 months, she came back and she said, I decided to keep this baby. And I was so excited. The baby was born. And it was a girl, a tiny little girl. And her daughter's now 9 years old. Before I came to America, her daughter got in contact with me through a mom text, and she said, I'm going to miss you when you go back to America. And I said, I'll miss you. And we talked, and when we finished the conversation, she said, I've accepted Jesus Christ. I said, wait a minute, you mean you've accepted Christ as your Savior? And she said, yes, I have. Mother who was Catholic was going to have a daughter. If she would have hold that baby, she would have missed the opportunity to lead that daughter to Christ. How very important this counseling was. And so I ask you to keep praying for us in this area. There's a lot to be done. BBM and different organizations have shared with me the problems. So when I get back, I'll be able to help them. Thank you so much for letting me share. In a few minutes, we're going to show you briefly a video of our camp. And that's in South Africa. It's one camp that I had 2 years ago. And you'll see some things that we're doing there in South Africa, okay? I do know the truth is not some boy on the TVs would say that. We have the rabbit ears, we try to adjust them to get clear TV. But when I was a little guy, when the TV would go blurry,
So
they're working on
that
it, so I'll go ahead and
close this.
and then when I finish my testimony, we'll see if it works, okay? Okay.
So go ahead and
Good.
testify what you
A
have.
long time
Testimony
ago.
until you can get it working.
I think it should be ready.
I don't know why. Same as you guys wanted to have, you don't know, I always want to
Make sure it's actually.
You said this it was born down.
So it's make me married, and he chooses which, so I wanted to.
And then
So I was born, and my mother and father had
Strike this out
six.
just a little bit.
And I was the last of six. I was
And then, yeah,
Boy.
pull this corner down.
All boys.
This corner.
So I was born, and my mom and dad were saved. And they brought us to church.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was 3, almost 4
Put it
years
over this
old,
way.
I remember my parents
Now you should drag it in there and put it on full screen.
my mother taking me to the old rocker outside the house, my home, where my mom lives now. That house
I
was
think it
built
should be
in
right.
You want to try to play it before you?
Yeah, you want to try playing it, just start playing it.
18. And all that land
Okay, now.
is where I grew up.
At least go to where it froze and then pause it and we'll go from there.
Given from the president, President Andrew
It
Jackson.
looks like it's same player.
And so later my parents, all that,
How come it's not playing?
our family was raised there. And so my mom was explaining to me on this rocker, this
Sort of.
little rocker, and I listened.
Yeah,
She's
just start
playing
playing
God,
it. See,
and
we'll play it for a couple minutes.
And I accepted Jesus as my Savior that day. I remember that clearly. I'll never forget that time. I remember I would take cardboard box. And I was just the one who how old people were. And I remember I was John 3:16. And I would get that cardboard box. And I'd be outside. I remember exactly. And I got New Testament and I preached.
Who knows? We'll see.
Standing on the street. I was little boy.
It's not your fault.
And I do that. And I say, you're going to hell, you're not saved. You're saved.
It just-
I don't know if the dog ever got saved.
It's frozen right
But
there.
it was interesting. I learned this little
It
boy
froze again.
preaching. First time,
Let it keep playing.
I remember I went to a
Yeah, it's the
big
video.
church.
Our videos
And
have done
I
that.
came up on the platform.
If anything can do it, VLC
I
can
did
do
a
it.
song. I was just a little guy. And so I grew up in church, always, my dad would always take my family to church. We never missed church.
Just keep
Never.
playing it.
Never,
Come
never
back.
missed church. And
So
so,
I would just go
Church
and
made
play
an
it,
announcement,
and
because
then
I'm
if
at
it
church,
freezes,
my dad
we'll
said,
see if
"You're
we can pick
going."
it up and just let it.
and I wasn't involved in sports and things at school because I was involved in church. Church. Everything at church. And I remember one time I told my parents, it would be better for us to just put beds and everything to the church. Because we're there all the time. So why don't we just move to the church? Because we're there all the time. And we live church life. And it was a wonderful life. And fellowship. There was no guilt because we were involved in church life. I remember one winter, it was a Wednesday night, church started again at 7 o'clock, and a storm came. And my dad said, "Come on, let's go to church." And I said, "But look at this storm, it's bad." He said, "Doesn't matter, we don't miss church." So he drove in an old van. He drove the old van, and windshield wipers were going, and couldn't see, and the storm was bad. And my dad pulled up and rolled down the window. We never missed church. And we had to go slow. And finally, slow all over him. And he said, "I'm sorry, I don't think we can go to church tonight." We had to turn around and go back home. And we never missed church. My mom and dad, many times, brought missionaries to stay at our house. And I grew up always away. But I had the opportunity to hear their ministries at those times during those early years, and they're gone now. But my mom and dad taught. They taught me. They just knew your life. They never forced. They never said you must be a preacher. You must get involved in ministry. It was not like that. They said you serve the Lord. You serve the Lord.
128.
So I watched my father, and I saw that, I saw his Christian life. He was serious about it. And he truly loved the Lord. He was a witness. I'm almost every day, my father would come home. He would sit down to supper, he'd tell the story of who that day he witnessed to and got saved. We would rejoice to hear those stories. My dad shared them. All those people that got saved. It was wonderful. He was an wonderful man. So I thank God for him. Well, time passed, and I was in high school. I had to teach Sunday school. 16-year-olds. I had 5 in my class. Oh, I was 16 years old, and I taught 5-year-old children when I was 16 years old in high school. And I taught those children, and I enjoyed teaching those children, and I learned that if you can teach 5-year-olds and keep their attention for 45 minutes, you can teach anyone.
Amen.
You can teach anyone, it's true. So I enjoyed that time in those 5-year-old class. And then I felt that God wanted me to be a youth pastor. So I came in contact, at that time, I think it's closed now, because of college, Baptist University of America. And it was in Atlanta. And I came in contact with them and applied for that, and I was accepted, and I went to that college and was excited about it, and God took I wanted to be a youth pastor. Well, then the pastor of the church made an announcement, and he said, we will have a deaf choir next Sunday night from TDC at college. And my church, I played piano for the church. I was a pianist for the church. And I enjoyed that. And so my brother and me, many times would sing. He'd stand, I'd sing from the piano, he'd sing from the platform. I'd play the piano. Many times we would sing. I would do that. And so the pastor announced, we're going to have a deaf choir next Sunday. And I thought, deaf, can they sing? How are we going to sing? How are they going to hold the microphone? That's all I knew is the microphone, and you sing into the microphone, and I thought, they can't hear. So how will they have the perfect pitch, or how will they hold the tone? And so I look forward to seeing that. So all week, I couldn't make it. Sunday night. Until Sunday night came. And I sat at piano. And I finished that. I came and sat for Kim sitting. And I sat there and thought, what's in the choir? And so the deaf people came to the platform. And that was Webster. And at the time, he was the pastor, the vice president of that college. And so he came to the platform and he made some announcement and said, this is signed by the agent. And then they came and they sang. I was like, wow. They could sing. It was beautiful. I watched that. And I thought, wow. This is wonderful. My heart was touched. And after church, the preacher came and preached and said, we're going to preach about lifting up holy hands. And what are you going to do with your hands? There are many out there that don't know Jesus. They can't turn on the radio and hear the gospel. They can't turn on the TV and hear the gospel. There's not an interpreter there. Many times they open a tract and they can't read it. We need your hands. We need somebody to communicate with the deaf. My heart was touched. And I thought understand this time, I had not, I had passed the deadline to go to college. It was past the deadline to go to college. I sent them to college, and I thought, I'll be like Gideon, I'll put a fleece out. And so I sent out a fleece, and if fleece is approved, I'll go, and they'll accept me. So I sent out a letter, and I waited, and I prayed, and at that time I was working at the bank. And so, the vice president of the bank called me to his office. And I went into his office, these big chairs like those in his office. And I felt like he was really big, and I had to look up when I sat into that chair, and he was in this big chair, and he said, "We've been watching you." I said, "Uh-oh, we're watching you." You like when people say they've been watching you? I said, "We've been watching you." And he said, "We would like to train you for management position. I want you to go to class, and then you come back and you'll manage, you'll be your own bank." I said, "Me? Wow." I mean, think about that thought, for money. That's an honor. And I said, "I really thank you for offering me that, but I'm sorry. I already made my heart to the Lord, and He has it first, and He has first choice. And so I can't accept that. I have made plans not to go to Bible college. Remember, I am going to be a youth pastor, and I thought they don't accept me. But I said, I've made plans to go to Bible college. And thank you. And I found out, and the letter came back to Bible college. I was nervous. I shook as I opened it. And I read it, it said, "We accept you." And I said, "Lord, it's your will. I've been accepted. I'm going to go to this college." And I was to go to that Bible college. I thought, and sign language, I'd forgotten it. And they gave me a room with a deaf person, 5 deaf people. I was the only hearing person. I said, "How am I going to do this?" And I said, "How am I going to ask for the bathroom? For food? Where am I supposed to go? I don't know how to communicate." They said, "You got to learn." I said, "Okay." So my fellowship, I began to learn, and I got excited, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. There was joy in my heart there. I finished, I graduated from Bible college, and you heard me listen to how we met. And I fell in love with her, and I wanted to marry her. You know, that summer, the choir, that was in the 1980s, we went to Texas. And we've been traveling, going to different churches, in the same choir, and we'd sing. And so there, we stayed in Arlington Baptist College, one of the dorms. And while we were there, I missed the cinema so much. My heart, I know, Lord, that you have given me her. And so they had a place on the college campus where their students would go for, like, sweethearts would sit together and talk and planting flowers and stones, and all the sweethearts would go and write their names in different areas. And so I was there all alone without my sweetheart. She was far away. So I wrote, Chris, and I put a cross. Oh, Chris listened to CL together, and I put it down. CL. Put it down. And last September, we went to Arlington, to the city of Arlington. And we had a church meeting. And I told Lucinda, I'm going to show you something. So we drove. And it was the college. I said, do you remember that college up there? This is where we stayed. And she said, oh. So I took her to that garden, curious, is it still there after 30 years? And so we went, and I looked, and I thought, I know where I did that. And I found it. See? Hell. And I said, look, it's still there after 30 years. And she took a picture to remember. So I remember that time. In '84, we got married, and we moved to Ohio
Amen.
for an internship at my brother's church. And we had our daughter in 1985. The church was Northwestern Ohio, and there was a church in Northwestern Ohio open, and they needed a pastor on staff, and so I went there to work, and it happened. And just as I told you before, a missionary came and pointed his finger at me. And when he did, my mind went back to where Mom and Dad had taught me, whatever the Lord shows you, you will. That's why I surrendered. And that's why I needed it. It was immediate. I accepted the attacker. And Lucinda explained how the events that happened in her life. And so the Lord showed us, confirmed in the Word of God, and situations in our life, things that happened. It brought everything together.
Amen.
And now, after many, many years, I look back and I think, wow. I like to be positive. I like to be a positive person. I like to seek for potential. You know that word, potential? That means there's a possibility of using that person. I watched my wife, and I saw in my wife, marriage. We got married. We had to build up each other. My responsibility as a husband was to take care of my wife. It wasn't, my responsibility as a husband was to take care of my wife, and her responsibility was to take care of me. And so I watched, and I've seen that she has skills she didn't know about. And I've seen that I encouraged her to build those skills within herself. And then I see her grow, flourish as a person, as a Christian, as a servant of the Lord. And I feel fulfilled because of her growth. And I've seen that happen. It's a blessing. I'm blessed with that. You husbands, my wives, you build, you seek and see in your wife, that person you married, in your children come, and you seek that within your children, what skills they have. Many times as parents, we try to force our children. It's kind of like we're a circle going into a square. We try to force them into that. God has given skills to each individual. And some people, you see the skills that God has given, you can encourage, but some people say, I want to do this. But why would you do that? God's given you this skill. Whatever He gives you, do that. So it's been an awesome lesson to see the ministry grow, to see people saved. If you imagine, long time ago, when I sat in that seat in front of that bank manager, and he offered me a position, more money, and all those ideas, pride began to set in, it could set in. And I could have said, I don't want to go back to college after all. I would have never met Lucinda. I would have never gone to the church that missionary does. I would have never gone to Africa and had 3 beautiful girls, the opportunities to see deaf people saved. I would never had the opportunity. She would have never had the opportunity to talk to that woman about the abortion, and that baby would have been aborted. But it all happened
Okay.
Our decision, it all comes from our decision. Our decision is a very serious thing. So consider that. I taught the high school class of prudence, making decisions, making important decisions. So is the video ready? It's Rosalie.
You watched it 2 or 3 times.
So, it's